President Biden and President-elect Trump say they are doing everything they can to ensure a peaceful transition of power. The two men met at the White House today to discuss that transition ahead of Inauguration Day. Trump skipped the traditional meeting back in 2020 between the outgoing and incoming president when he was still fighting the election results. It was quite a different picture this time around.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And looking forward to having like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
Welcome
Thank you
back.
very much. And thank you very much. And politics is tough. And it's, in many cases, not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today. And I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get. And I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome.
Let's bring in now the chief White House correspondent for the Associated Press, Zeke Miller. So, Zeke, it was interesting hearing from the two of them. It was particularly interesting to me to see the two of them as an aside when the White House press corps was shouting out the questions. It looked like the former president turned to the current president, and the two of them sort of smiled about that moment. What else do we know about what the two leaders discussed?
Well, we know that they were joined in the Oval Office by White House Chief of Staff Jeff Zients and incoming White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. And it was just them in the Oval Office. We heard just a few minutes ago from the White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre that the president discussed his emphasis on having a smooth transition of power to the new Republican administration. And then also raised some important domestic issues that have to get handled between now and the end of his term, particularly around government funding, disaster relief. And then also they had an opportunity to discuss some foreign affairs. And that's where there is some real disagreements and differing perspectives between between President Biden and incoming President Trump on that. And they did discuss Ukraine and some of those issues as well.
Zeke, what do the next couple of months look like as Trump prepares to return to the Oval Office?
Things are ramping up in the Trump world. He's naming staff at a pretty feverish clip now as he tries to build out his administration, and things are sort of starting to sunset a little bit over here at the White House. The president departs tomorrow on a foreign trip to South America. That's going to be probably his second to last foreign trip. He'll probably go to Africa sometime at the beginning of December. And that's about it. You're going to start seeing staffers leave here at the White House. People try to close up their portfolios. Some people are trying to knock off a few other things on their to-do list before they leave their jobs. The president trying to go out and burnish his legacy a little bit. But there's no major substantive legislation other than things that absolutely have to pass between now and when the President-elect Trump takes over and that new Republican Congress takes over at the beginning of January.
We mentioned that back in 2020, we were both at the White House at that time, Zeke, and we know that then President Trump did not extend an invitation to President-elect Biden because he refused to accept the results of this election. The two men sitting there, though, looked very civil. I'm looking back over the transcript from the press corps, and it was interesting even hearing the former president say, politics is tough and in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. Having covered multiple different administrations, Zeke, what did you make of the civility we saw today?
That really is sort of what you've seen in that setting historically. You saw a version of that 8 years ago when then President-elect Trump was hosted by then President Obama in his first visit to the White House. But even today, after everything that has elapsed over that 8-year period, after the bitter campaign, after that disastrous June 27th debate for President Biden dropping off the ticket, both of them trying to summon civility and trying to heal the nation, rise to the moment of something like this. And as you noted, it is sort of, underscore to have this sort of engagement right now, given what we didn't see 4 years ago when President Trump then did not invite President-elect Biden to the White House to begin this, and as he was trying to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. But even now, from President Biden, he seems intent as he leaves office to sort of make sure he hands the keys to President-elect Trump in a way that he was never handed them 4 years ago, and try to use it, make that a foundational part of his legacy. But that contrast between what didn't happen 4 years ago, what we saw today, is really striking.
All right, Zeke Miller at the White House. Thank you.